Communication is key. All that and more now on Graph's Grievances. Distressing news for President Joe Biden's re-election campaign. A new poll finding just 34% of registered voters think Biden would complete a second term if re-elected. The same CBS News YouGov poll finding 55% of voters think former President Donald Trump would finish a full term if he is re-elected next year. The dichotomy between voters' perceptions of Biden and Trump's vitality noteworthy because they will likely face off again next year, and voters expect that their candidate will serve a full 4-year term. So what explains why Americans do not believe that the 80-year-old Biden is just as healthy as the 77-year-old Trump? The answer is communication. Despite his historic record of legislative and economic accomplishments, President Biden has not done a good job telling the American people what he has done for them. And President Biden has a ton to sell. In just his first 3 years in office, President Biden has signed into law the largest infrastructure investment act in U.S. history, passed the first gun control legislation in 30 years, and oversaw the creation of a record 13 million jobs, along with a historically low unemployment rate that now sits below 4%. But when Biden does attempt to sell this enviable record, he increasingly communicates in hushed tones and mumbles his words. This presentation does not give voters confidence that he is in good health and knows what he is doing. And that is likely why, according to that CBS poll I mentioned earlier, just 33% of voters say Biden has the mental and cognitive health to serve as president. Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump, who faces 4 criminal prosecutions and routinely says and posts bizarre rants, is seen by 51% of voters as having the mental and cognitive health necessary to serve as president. Just for a moment, forget your ideological preferences and ask yourself, does this sound like someone who is okay? Last night, on the final day of the Jewish New Year, someone posted, quote, "Just a quick reminder for liberal Jews who voted to destroy America and Israel. Let's hope you learn from your mistakes and make better choices moving forward! Exclamation point. Happy New Year! Exclamation point." That anti-Semitic post, of course, coming from former President Donald Trump. And maybe he sincerely meant everything he wrote there, and therefore that bizarre rant is no evidence of mental decline. But how about this one? Friday, Trump suggested he was running for president against Barack Obama and said that, quote, "cognitively impaired Biden could lead America into, quote, World War II. Yes, really. Trump apparently thinks he is running for president against former President Barack Obama, who finished his tenure in the Oval Office 6 years ago. And, perhaps even more disturbingly, Trump believes that World War II, which ended almost 80 years ago, has yet to be fought. Of course, I have no idea if Trump is in cognitive decline, but these recent statements cannot make him look good even in the eyes of the most hardcore Trump supporters. And keep in mind, Trump says and posts something equally as factually inaccurate and unhinged almost on the daily. So why do a majority of voters still believe Trump is mentally fit to be president? I think the answer is twofold. First, this is what we have come to expect from Trump. He has always said crazy things, and therefore we just accept that this is who he is. And second, I think the forcefulness and volume at which Trump communicates makes people believe he knows what he is talking about, even when he does not. Meanwhile, President Biden's soft, muffled speech gives voters the impression that he is not only tired, but not up to the task at hand. Possibly not all cognitively there. Of course, nothing could be further from the truth about President Biden, whose legislative record even rivals that of FDR and JFK. At least if you're asking far-right Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who famously compared Biden's record to the liberal icons earlier this summer. But the problem for Biden is that he can't just rely on MTG and other extreme Republicans to run his re-election campaign. He needs to either inject himself with some caffeine to sell all that he has done, or deploy some rock star surrogate that we have yet to see to sell his presidency around the clock and explain to the American people all that he has done for them. Thank you for watching Graph's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please subscribe, share, and join me tomorrow for more.